Hello, I'm Dr. Jeff Robinson, and welcome. Today we're diving deep into a topic that touches every single one of us: rejection. This episode is titled Rejecting Rejection. Rejection is often misunderstood as a negative force in our lives, when in reality, it's merely a redirect toward better opportunities. This shift in my perspective is championed and inspired by success coach Jack Canfield, who wrote a little book you may have heard of called Chicken Soup for the Soul. This perspective truly transforms how I now view and handle rejection in my personal and professional life. The journey through rejection to success isn't about avoiding someone telling you no. It's about persisting until you find your yes. Jack Canfield says that rejection is a myth. When I first heard it, I was like, no, sir, ain't no myth about getting turned down. I don't agree with this. Then I listened. I came to understand that this concept, rejection is a myth, stands as a powerful cornerstone of this new understanding. When someone tells you no, you haven't lost anything. You maintain exactly what you had before asking. The only thing that changes is the narrative we create in our minds. Too often we internalize rejection with harmful self-talk like, something must be wrong with me, or they must be upset with me, when in reality nothing has fundamentally changed. Let me say that again. Nothing has changed. You didn't have it before you asked, right? So what did you lose? Absolutely nothing. It's all about what you say in your own head about their no. Consider the real-world example of when I started my agency, the JRob United Group. Despite having 30 years of background in leadership, technology, coaching, and training, many viewed it as just another side hustle. Potential collaborators would connect interested initially, but then disappear after the first call. My experience mirrors Jack Canfield's journey, who received 144 rejections before successfully publishing Chicken Soup for the Soul, one of the most successful books ever made. Such persistence in the face of rejection ultimately led me to speaking engagements at events, schools, and seminars, as well as creating platforms for creatives, ongoing mentorship, and building an online training platform called the AI Takeover, where to date I have educated and trained over 200 individuals to use artificial intelligence. A particularly illuminating perspective comes from understanding that rejection often has nothing to do with us personally. As Canfield explains, when someone says no, it's frequently about them setting their own necessary boundaries. This could mean not right now or not at all, but either way, it's their boundary to set, not a reflection of our worth. Canfield has this acronym that I really like. It's called the SWSW principle, which means some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. This serves as a practical framework for handling rejection. This simple yet powerful acronym reminds us that while some people will inevitably say no, others are waiting to say yes. With over 7 billion people on the planet, fixating on one rejection is like trying to water a dead flower while ignoring the garden around you. Consider the remarkable story of Colonel Sanders, who faced 1,009 rejections before KFC became a global success. These examples illustrate the power of next, the simple act of saying next and moving forward after each rejection. This principle becomes especially powerful when combined with the understanding that rejection isn't personal. 3 key principles emerge for handling rejection effectively. 1. The power of next. When someone says no, simply move on to the next opportunity. Your yes exists somewhere among those 7 billion people. This approach keeps you focused on progress rather than dwelling on setbacks. 2. The SW principle. Understanding that some will, some won't, so what, and someone's waiting. This helps maintain perspective and momentum. This mindset prevents the paralysis that often comes with rejection. 3. Rejection as feedback. each no can be an opportunity to learn and refine your approach. Ask yourself, what would have to happen for them to say yes? However, be cautious about becoming too focused on pleasing someone determined to say no. The practical application of these principles requires action. Instead of avoiding potential rejection, embrace it as a natural part of growth and progress. Each no brings you closer to your eventual yes. Remember that rejection is simply a redirect, not a dead end. When facing rejection, maintain this empowering perspective. You're leaving with everything you brought with you. Nothing is lost except the story you choose to tell yourself about the experience. This mindset shift transforms rejection from a feared obstacle into a stepping stone toward success. Even when dealing with criticism, judgment, or dismissal of ideas, remember Canfield's wisdom about the vast number of potential connections available. Don't waste energy worrying over a handful of rejections when countless opportunities await. Whether in business, relationships, or personal growth, understanding that rejection is a myth liberates you from the fear that often holds people back from pursuing their goals and dreams. Now, let's not get it twisted. I learned this perspective nearly 10 years ago, but there are times I have to revisit the principle of rejection is just a myth. So give yourself grace. If you find yourself all in your head when someone says no, then say to yourself that rejection is a myth. I didn't have their business before I called, so I lost nothing, and they have a right to set boundaries that work for them. Listen, your breakthrough might be just one rejection away. Instead of letting rejection define your limits, let it refine your path. After all, in a world of 7 billion people, your opportunity for success is not a question of if, but when. The key is to keep moving forward, knowing that each no brings you closer to your ultimate yes. Remember what Jack Canfield teaches us. Rejection is simply a redirect, not a dead end. As someone who's faced rejection, but yet managed to accomplish things I used to dream about, I can tell you that persistence through rejection is what separates the dreamers from the achievers. Your homework this week is take that one thing you've been afraid to do and do it. Make the business call you've been afraid to make. Ask that person to meet you for coffee. Ask about that job opportunity. Remember, you're in the exact same place as you started if they say no. So you have lost nothing, but you might just get that life-changing yes. However, if you get a no, don't get in your head. Just remember the SW, 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 SW principle. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. Listen, I hope this helps you learn how to reject rejection. Remember, rejection is a myth. You never lost anything. Your yes is out there, and as my father would say, just keep going, son. Don't waste time on a handful of people when there are over 7 billion waiting to hear from you. This is Dr. Jeff Robinson, reminding you that your next big breakthrough might be just one rejection away. Please know that I am rooting for you. Let's live full, die empty. Now go be great